Hello, my favorite story from The Magic Brocade, Beauty and the Beast, and Pinocchio is The Magic Brocade because it's a beautiful story with happy and sad moments, and finally the good triumphs, and everything is okay. How is sometimes in all the stories. So, the magic brocade. Long ago, in a small village, a woman lived with her three sons. Her husband had died and now she was poor. Her house was old and dark and many things were broken. But the woman was brave. She was a weaver and she worked hard every day. She wove beautiful brocades. Each brocade took 5 days to weave. She worked all week and every Saturday she went to the market to sell her brocade. Then she bought rice, vegetables, and flour, and every Sunday she had a rest. One Saturday the woman was at the market as usual and she saw something. It was a picture of a house with a beautiful garden. An old man was trying to sell it. How much is this picture? She asked him. How much have you got? He replied. All I have is 3 coins, said the woman. Then that is all it costs, he smiled. The woman looked at the picture. She wanted it very much. She looked at it and thought for a long time. Then she said, Here, and she dropped her last 3 coins into the old man's hand. It's yours, he said. Good luck, woman. What a lovely house, the woman's sons cried. I want to live there, said the youngest. So do we, said his two older brothers. Copy it, mother, cried the youngest. Weave a copy. Weave it into a brocade. So the woman began to work. The next day was Sunday and she usually rested on Sundays. But this time she worked. She worked all day. It was not easy to copy the picture. Stop for lunch, her sons said. I can't, she replied. I must do this night. This is going to be my best brocade. The woman worked every day. She only slept for a few hours each night. She was so interested in her work, she could not stop. She thought about the picture all the time. She wanted to make her brocade as beautiful as the picture. Mother, her sons cried, stop, have a rest, let's go for a walk. No, my dears, she said, go for a walk without me and get some wood for the fire, please. The woman had no time to clean the house or cook the food, so her sons had to clean the house and cook the food. The youngest son was happy to help, but the other two became angry. Hurry up and finish that brocade, mother, they said. There is no more money. Soon there will be nothing to eat. I'm busy, she said. Go and chop some wood. Go and sell some wood at the market. The older brothers didn't like chopping wood. It's too hot, they said. I'll help you, said the youngest son, and he chopped wood all afternoon. The woman worked on and on, day after day, night after night. Sometimes it was too difficult. Sometimes she cried and her tears fell onto the cloth. Then she wove the tears into a river. Sometimes her fingers bled. Then she wove the drops of red blood into blood red flowers. Her eyes were tired. She wanted to close them, but she kept them open and worked on. Then one night at last it was ready. Oh, mother, cried her three sons, it's beautiful, it's so beautiful. Then suddenly a wind came. It blew through the window and it lifted up the brocade. Oh, cried the woman, my brocade, my work. She tried to catch it. Her sons ran outside and tried to catch it too. But the wind lifted the brocade up high. It blew the brocade high into the sky, and then the wind blew it away. The woman became ill. She lay in bed for many days and she could not speak. So the youngest son made her some soup. He spoke to her softly and she drank some. Are you feeling better? He asked softly. Do you like the soup? But all she said was, "Go to the mountains, find my brocade, and bring it back to me." The youngest son told his brothers, and the oldest son went off to find his mother's brocade. The oldest son walked quickly, and soon he reached the mountains. Halfway up the mountain, he saw an old woman. She was sitting under a cherry tree. "Where are you going?" she asked. "I am looking for my mother's brocade," he said. "Oh," she said, "the brocade. The fairies have it. The fairies of Sun Mountain. They are copying it." "Well, my mother wants it back," said the oldest son. "Does she? Then listen," said the old woman. "Take this hammer. Knock out your two front teeth. Give them to this stone horse. He will eat some cherries, and then you can get onto his back and ride him. You will have to ride through fire, and you will have to ride through ice." The oldest son looked at the hammer, and he was afraid. He did not want to knock out his two front teeth. He did not want to ride through fire. He did not want to ride through ice, and he did not believe her. "I can't," he said at last. The old woman was kind to him. "Okay," she said, "go home then. Here, take this bag of coins for your mother. I know that she is poor." The oldest son took the bag of coins and thanked the old woman. But he did not go home. He went to a nearby town and spent all the money. The oldest son did not come home. His mother waited, but he did not return. So the middle son went to find the brocade. He walked quickly. Halfway up the mountain, he saw the same old woman sitting under the cherry tree. "Where are you going?" she asked him. "I am looking for my mother's brocade," he said. "Oh, the brocade," she said. "The fairies have it. The fairies of Sun Mountain. They are copying it." The middle son looked at the old woman. "Well, my mother wants to have it back," he said. "Then listen," said the old woman. "Take this hammer, knock out your two front teeth, give them to this stone horse. He will eat some cherries, and then you can get on his back and ride him. You will have to ride through fire, and you will have to ride through ice." The middle son looked at the hammer, and he was afraid. He did not want to knock out his two front teeth. He did not want to ride through fire. He did not want to ride through ice. And he did not believe her. "I can't," he said at last. Again the old woman was kind. She gave him a bag of coins for his mother, and she told him to go home. The middle son took the bag of coins and thanked the old woman. But he did not go home. He went to a nearby town and spent all the money. His mother waited for him. She cried so much that her eyes were red, but he never came. "Don't cry, mother," said the youngest son. "Please don't cry any more. I will go. I will get your beautiful brocade. Wait for me and believe in me, because I will bring it back home to you." The youngest son walked quickly, and soon he came to the mountains. Halfway up the mountain, the youngest son saw the same old woman sitting under the cherry tree, and beside her was the stone horse. "Where are you going?" she asked as before. "I am looking for my mother's brocade," he said. "Oh, the brocade," she said. "The fairies have it. The fairies of Sun Mountain. They are copying it because it is so beautiful." "Well, my mother wants to have it back," said the youngest son, "and I have come to get it." "Then listen," said the old woman. "Take this hammer, knock out your two front teeth, give them to this stone horse. He will eat some of these cherries, and when he has eaten them, you will be able to get on his back and ride him. Be brave. You will have to ride through fire, and you will have to ride through ice." The youngest son looked at the hammer. He was afraid. He did not want to knock out his two front teeth. He did not want to ride through fire. He did not want to ride through ice. But he believed her. "Give me the hammer," he said, and he knocked out his two front teeth. The youngest son gave his two front teeth to the stone horse, and at once it was alive. The horse got bigger and it reached up and ate some cherries from the tree. Then it was ready to go. The youngest son got onto the horse and rode away. He rode quickly and soon he came to Fire Mountain. He stared at it and he was afraid, but he said nothing. He only rode. He rode towards it and into the fire. The whole place was red hot. There were flames on either side of him, but he did not cry out. He made no sound. Quickly he rode to the top of the mountain and down the other side. He could hear his heart and the sound of the flames, but he said nothing. Then he came to a huge sea. It was a huge sea of cold water and ice. The waves were big and rough, and pieces of ice were crashing around. It was dangerous and cold. He stared at it and he was afraid, but he said nothing. He only rode toward it and through the crashing pieces of ice. The whole place was icy cold, and there was ice on either side of him. But he did not cry out. Quickly he rode through it and out to the other side. He could hear his heart and the sound of the ice breaking, but he said nothing. The youngest son's clothes were wet. His hair was wet. Water dripped from his clothes and it dripped from his hair. He sat on the horse and looked in front of him.